Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and last night I went out with my friends in West Hollywood and only put on my foundation using my fingers, mascara, and brow gel. And that was it. The universe apparently knew that I needed a bit of a makeup pick-me-up because today in the mail I received 3 massive PR packages, all from Too Faced. Among those PR packages was also the Candy Johnson collection, which I'm also really excited about. But you guys, when I saw this little mini fridge full of makeup, I knew it was time. I have been very excited about the launch of the Peaches and Cream collection from Too Faced. I've heard a lot of great things, and I was such a huge fan of the Peach collection launch, which was I think back in January. So Too Faced is killing it this year with another huge launch like this in like a 12-month span. I feel like makeup moves so fast nowadays, like you can barely ever keep up. Literally, I'm filming this tonight and uploading it tomorrow because I know that everyone else got this today too, and if I wait till like next week, it's too late. The world moves quickly, I'm telling you. Had my coffee. It's 8 o'clock at night, by the way. And we're just gonna do kind of a casual get ready with me and review of this lineup. I'm going to use as much from this as I possibly can. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. The first thing I want to use today is this Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. The Hangover Primer from Too Faced is one of my favorite all-time primers. Recently, I've been using a product that blurs my pores a bit more. It smells like peaches, but very faintly. And oh my god, it feels really nice. It doesn't quite spread like the Hangover Primer. One of my favorite things about it is it's really thin and very hydrating, so it spreads. This is just a bit thicker, so I feel like I need like 2 pretty solid pumps to work all over my face. I like the tone of this. It's giving me a very like nice sort of airbrushed look. My face feels very smooth and airbrushed. It actually is, interestingly enough, a really nice mixture of my favorite primer of the moment, which is the Dior Skin Forever, because it has that sort of airbrush, sort of like pore filling quality to it. Now, I don't have intense pores. I just need a little bit of smoothing out and a little bit of that airbrush sort of filter. I feel like it really easily mixes together this primer, the Dior Skin Forever, with the Hangover Primer, because it feels really nice on the skin, but I also just feel very smooth and like I'm ready to put on a good foundation. All right, so their foundation that they came out with is the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I have a ton of colors in this. Now, I'm a little bit tan right now. My fake tan has faded a tiny bit, but we're gonna have to see if we can find the perfect color match. Okay, so if my fake tan was as dark as it is when I first apply it, I feel like this color on the left, this is natural beige, would be really good, but I'm gonna go ahead and use warm beige, which is on the right. And that's this bottle right here, just because, like I said, I'm a little bit faded. Okay, I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna take 2 pumps. I may apply half my face with a beauty blender and then half with a brush and just see how I like both, if that's cool with you guys. I hope it is, because I'm doing it anyway. 9 times out of 10, I'm looking for more coverage on this side of my face because I definitely have some scarring from acne as well as some hyperpigmentation on that side. Wow, the coverage on this is really good. Oh, also this shade is a little dark. I think I can kind of dull it down with powder a bit, but you can sort of see it's a little bit dark. I could have gone with a slightly lighter shade, but I think this is like the first medium tone. It has a really light peach scent to it too, by the way. I feel like some makeup brands, especially Chanel and Dior and Guerlain, will have these intense perfumes. This smells very light. Upon first sort of layer with that, I would say it has really good coverage from the word go, but definitely shears out as you blend it in more and more. So I'm curious to see if the Beauty Blender side will be a little bit more full coverage. Also, I say Beauty Blender, but recently I've been using the L'Oreal makeup sponges, the pink ones. Mine is super stained and icky because I use it to apply my concealer and my powder every single day, but I promise I clean it. Okay, off the bat, I can say applying it with the Beauty Blender, I'm not getting as great of coverage as the brush side. It's like blending in 2 seconds flat. Like I'm bouncing it once or twice, and it's just like, oh, hello, hi foundation, you're done. So this is a really quick, very blendable sort of product. No, I don't know which side I like better. I don't know if I dig the brush or if I dig the Beauty Blender. I like them both for different reasons. I think I may use the brush just because I feel like the coverage it's just not great on the Beauty Blender side. I just want a more full coverage because I'm doing a full-on makeup look. I went ahead and applied my concealer just because I know you guys have seen me do that before. Today I just used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the brightener shade to sort of brighten those circles, and then I used Naked Skin from Urban Decay in the shade Light Neutral for highlighting. So to set, I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and use the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. This is infused with peach and sweet fig cream, and it's just supposed to mattify the face. Number one, I'm obsessed with the packaging. It has this little lid that plugs up like setting powder holes, like what do you call that? The sifter or whatever, which is really nice for travel, especially so that it doesn't get everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of that. Again, it smells really good. Hoping it's not gonna bother my eyes though, because I'm gonna bake right under the eyes with it, and it's really scented. Okay, I'm just gonna pop right there. Just gonna bake. It tastes amazing, by the way, while it's flying all over the place. First impressions, it went on really nice and smooth. It doesn't have an insane white sort of color to it. Honestly, I'm kind of into it. I'm gonna set off the rest of my face using my Rimmel Stay Matte powder in the shade Natural. This is a little bit lighter than the foundation, but it's just to lighten it up a tiny bit because I feel like it's not even that dark. I just feel like it's almost a hair too dark. So I'm just gonna go all over. All right, that may have lightened me up a tiny bit too much. It's either one extreme or the other, apparently. Yeah, a little bit too light. We'll just put on some bronzer. Okay, so my little bug is currently recovering from a UTI, so she's hanging out because she's just feeling so needy, huh? All right, so for bronzer, I have this as an option. It is the Sweetie Pie Radiant Matte Bronzer. However, as you can see, there's very clearly a shimmery kind of overspray. Plus, it's sort of interlaced with some peachy tones. So I think that's actually gonna wind up being my blush. So for bronzer, I am just gonna dip into my all-time favorite Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Light Bronze. I have a new one because I was running so low. I don't know, I would rather my face be a little bit too light than too dark, if that makes any sense. Because if it's too dark and I get really heavy-handed with bronzer, which I tend to, I just feel like I look really bad and like muddy. So for additional contouring, I'm going to take the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm just going to focus this on areas like right under the jaw. Recently, I will focus most of the product right under here because it obviously like erases the double chin, and then I'll follow the line all the way up to my ear. And I feel like it really carves things out. Also, just pop it right at the outer cheekbone. So I definitely do have like two cheek options. The first one is this, oh my god, I just tore off the paper. I kind of tore the label as I was tearing off that string, but this is the Melting Powder Blush in the shade So Peachy. I just feel like if you look at this, number one, it smells great, but it's really rosy, and I just think it might be a bit too bright after all is said and done, because if you look at the Just Peachy matte eyeshadow palette, it's very neutral. It is definitely like warm toned, but I just feel like that blush is gonna be a little bit too much. So I am definitely going to pop on the Sweetie Pie Radiant Matte Bronzer. I just kind of wiped off the gold overspray, but we're just gonna use this as our blush. It's a little bit powdery, but it has a really nice color payoff, and it is a little bit peachy, so I'm really into it as a blush. I think it's actually really gorgeous. Dang, I kind of wish that gold overspray wasn't an overspray because it looks good with the residual. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows because I feel like I've done them a million times on camera. My go-to routine is just filling them in with a bit of dip brow and taupe, so I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. My brows are a little intense, but I think they'll look a bit better once I have the rest of the makeup on. Something I've noticed a lot when I don't do my makeup for a while is like I can still do my eyeshadow, I can still do my liner, I can still do some things, but it'll be like my foundation won't be blended properly, or I'll get a little bit too heavy-handed with bronzer, or my eyebrows will get out of hand. Just goes to show you I need to put it on more. So I'm gonna take Peach Tea first because I just think that's gonna be the ideal sort of crease shade. Oh, and it is. Oh, and she's beautiful. Hi, you're great. Oh my god. I'm done. Put a fork in me. There is no point for anyone to ever come out with a matte eyeshadow palette again. I've used one color and I've already decided this is it. Can't wait to get married. Gonna take a bit of Peach Cobbler right up here. I want to like marry this palette. I want to have babies with this palette. I want to grow old with this palette. It's me and my palette against the freaking world, man. I'm also gonna kind of bring it down onto the lid just a bit. It's so good, it's kind of scary. Like, who had to sell their firstborn child to make this a thing? You guys, I'm so into this. I'm so into the more natural. I think what I'm gonna do is legit just pack, let's go with the shade Peach Butter right here, right on the inner corner. Kind of going in to meet those peachy tones. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my blending brush and kind of give it a once over, just to make sure all the lines are blended. Also gonna take that peach tea color right under the lower lashes. I'm really mixed because part of me is like, wow, this is, I mean, maybe this is crazy to say, but possibly the best matte eyeshadow palette I've ever used. So there's that, but then there's the other part of me that's like, this is so rude. Why would anyone ever want to release an eyeshadow palette again after this, you know? Gonna use this peach meringue color to highlight the brow bone and clean those brows up a tiny bit. Also, just gonna pop that right on the inner corner. It's not shimmery at all. It's just gonna be a bit of a brightening effect. Okay, it smells great. The pigmentation was beautiful. It was super easy to blend. Granted, I only used a total of 4 colors, but like, I don't know what to do with my life anymore. I feel like this is amazing and super simple, but just freaking gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and blend away that powder in my eyes. It actually blends in really well. I'm super into that translucent powder. I just think it did really nice things for the face. I have a few options for highlight as well. The first is this Peach Blur Translucent Smooth Finishing Powder. I'm getting old, I can't read. It's like a little bit of a pinky tone though. It doesn't have a ton of color payoff. I think this is more for like a really soft sort of finishing powder with a tiny bit of a sheen to it. Oh my god, wait, I just realized there's a bronzer down here. I didn't even notice this. What the heck? This is the Bronzed Peach Melting Powder Bronzer in the shade Toasted Peach. It feels like a cream to the touch. That's bizarre. It's gorgeous. Oh my god, I'm sad I didn't get to use that. Okay, well, for highlight today, I'm gonna go ahead and use then the Happy Face Peach Frost Highlighter. I feel like applying this with my fingers is gonna be the easiest technique here because I think it's a cream. Am I crazy? I feel like this is a cream highlight. It might just be that finely milled. It's pretty, it's just very subtle. And your girl sometimes needs a little more than that. It's the weirdest texture, you guys. I can't figure out if it's a cream or a powder. I feel like crazy, but it's really gorgeous. Okay, so I wanted to, I know this really isn't a makeup tutorial, but I wanted to kind of talk about what I do when my face product gets a little bit intense. This foundation, it's like powder sits super well on top of it. I can just be a bit heavy-handed sometimes. So to clean up the bronzer, I'll just stamp right under using a kabuki brush. Then I'll go over the cheeks just to make sure everything is really nicely blended into the skin. And I feel like this helps the powders really meld in instead of sitting on top. That's my inner wannabe beauty guru coming out. For liner, I'm gonna use the Too Faced sketch marker first. I wanna do a little bit of a cat eye. I've been doing that recently and I've been really into it. So what I'll do is just draw from the corner of the eye towards the brow, very tiny little kitten wing, and we'll bring it in. To fill it in, I do like the structure of that liquid eyeliner, but I'm just a lot more comfortable with a brush tip usually for this part. I'm just going to fill it in like so. That was a dog. All right, I set off my brows with a little bit of clear brow gel, and now I'm going to set off my entire face using this mattifying setting spray. Normally, I go for something that's a bit more hydrating just because I do have rather dry skin. So far, what I have noticed from this collection is, especially the foundation, usually I would wear a matte foundation and it would be like torture, like all of the moisture sucked out of my skin, and that's not how I'm feeling. This is described as a comfort matte collection, so it's the modern way to wear matte makeup for a radiant complexion. So skin always looks fresh and flawless and never cakey or mask-like. And I feel like they've done a really good job of doing that. So long story short, I'm gonna go ahead and use this setting spray. Ooh, it's really cooling. It tastes really strong. Sorry for the fan sound, you guys. I turn on my fan in between takes because it gets really hot in my room with this light. I put on my mascara and now I'm just applying some falsies. The ones that I'm using are the Fiercely Fabulous from Eyeliner by Vegas Nay. So I went ahead, I did my lashes. I also popped on a little bit of nude eyeliner. This is just from MAC. It is their chromograph pencil. The end of it was eaten by my chihuahua. It's great, it's fine. So I lined my lips also using a MAC product. This is the lip pencil in Edge to Edge. It's a little bit pinkier than I was hoping, but it's just kind of what I had. So what I want to do here is use two different lip colors, and these are both obviously from the collection. These are the Peach Kiss Moisture Matte Longwear Lipsticks. This one is in the shade Sunday Funday. It's a little bit of a bronzy brown. It's really smooth and comfy. And kind of blend. Okay, I actually really love that. That's such a pretty color. In the very center, I'm going to use a bit of doll face. So this is the completed look. I really love it. I want to talk a little bit about my favorites in this lineup, although I will go ahead and quickly say that nothing that I used today I wasn't impressed with. You know what I mean? Nothing here was a dud. Nothing was below what I would call a good makeup product. I am so impressed with this entire collection, you guys. It's insane. And it's out today when I'm filming this video. It's launched on Sephora.com. This is a Sephora exclusive collection. You can't get this at Ulta. You can't get this at Macy's. This is specifically to Sephora, which is really cool as well. But just to let you guys know, that's where you can get it. I guess we'll just kind of start where I started in terms of the makeup routine. Okay, the primer. The Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. I felt my makeup went on very smoothly on top of this. Isn't very bumpy, looks very smooth and feels very smooth to the touch. I can't speak to the longevity of it just yet, just because this makeup's been on for like 30 minutes, but yeah, I think that so far so good. It really helped with my makeup application, so as long as it helps things kind of last all day, it's a great primer. I like the color of it a lot. It is a little bit thicker in its consistency, so if you don't like that, maybe something like the Hangover primer would be a little bit better just because it's a little thinner, but so far I do quite like this. I like the smell, I like the texture. So far so good. Next up is the Peach Perfect Foundation. I am really into this. I thought it had good coverage. It's quick to apply and also very buildable, so I liked that a lot. I feel like you could easily slap this on, go over it with a beauty blender like 3 or 4 times, and you've got a quick, easy foundation that's nice and matte. Kind of a nice alternative to like a BB cream or something when you're looking for a very quick makeup look. So I like that a lot. It does come in a wide variety of shades. So far what I'm seeing here is 4, 8, 12 shades. I don't know if that's the full lineup, but that's what I have. So it does say that this is oil-free, 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo friendly. There is no SPF in it. Something else to note is that it is 1.6 fluid ounces. That is a lot in a foundation. If I compare that with any other foundation that I have, 1.6 fluid ounces is 0.6 fluid ounces more than most of them. Usually they're 1 fluid ounce. So that's a lot of products for not a lot of money. So if you find yourself really liking this, it's a pretty good deal. So far so good. Again, I'm kind of sweating under these studio lights and it is definitely holding up really well, so that's good. But honestly, I can't say, oh, this is a long wearing foundation because I haven't tried it for long wear yet. It does claim that it's 14-hour wear. I have been very impressed with Too Faced foundation in the past, so I'm very excited that this is a new addition to the lineup, and it's a very nice kind of complement to the Born This Way foundation, which is super dewy and glowy. This is more of the matte and long wearing version. All right, this Peach Mist Mattifying Setting Spray. I felt that this, the spray I felt it was a little bit concentrated on the first spray, but it definitely is not as bad as I thought. The mist is actually quite fine. It is a very strong scent upon initial spray, and both times I've sprayed this now I've kind of coughed, but it kind of dries down very quickly. I feel like I don't smell like peaches anymore. I like the spray a lot, but again, it's something where I have to wear it for a long period of time to know if it's as good or better as, let's say, Urban Decay's All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray or Skindinavia setting sprays, anything like that. I have tried the Hangover spray and I liked it. I didn't love it. So maybe this will be a little bit better in terms of keeping makeup on. Something I didn't use is the Peach Blur Powder. Now I swatched this on the back of my hand, but this is again a translucent smooth finishing powder infused with peach and sweet fig cream. The color on this is quite subtle. It looks a little bit pinky when you swatch, but then as you blend it out, you can see it really just kind of like melts into the hand, just a little bit of a pink hue. It is quite glowy, and so I don't know if I would use it as a finishing spray, maybe. I don't know. It's just usually not up my alley to put something with shimmer all over my face. The powder I did use from this lineup, the Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder, I love this. I love the packaging of this. I love the scent of this. I felt it set my under eye very well. Of course, I haven't creased yet or anything like that. I think that it's a great color, and to me is not very like bright in your face with this flashback. I just turned on the light a teensy tiny bit just so you can see the makeup a bit better, but you can see it's not like reflecting the light or being really bright and bouncy with the like ring light and everything, so that's good. I really am into this product so far. The Sweetie Pie Matte Bronzer, of course, I use as my blush today. I don't necessarily know if I would use this as a bronzer. I never tend to use like bronzers that have any pink tones or any highlighting properties in them as bronzers. I mean, this has two really nice shades of bronze, but then you've got a peach. I will probably use this as sort of like a bronzy blush from here on out. It's just not my cup of tea, but honestly, it's up to you. If you like that, that's amazing. I really like it so far. When I do a quick general swatch, I don't feel like I'm necessarily hitting those pinky tones because my brush really gets into those. So it looks a little bit bronzier with my finger than I feel like it does on my cheeks. Too Faced is known for their bronzers. Their bronzers are amazing. This is a great addition to the lineup. It has that very faint peach scent. It's so weird to smell a Too Faced bronzer that doesn't smell like chocolate, but I do quite like it as a blush. Oh my gosh, this Just Peachy matte eyeshadow palette. You guys, if you can get one thing from this collection, I know most of you are gonna get this. If you only have the money to, let's say, update your makeup collection by one item for fall, please spend your money on this, because I have never been this obsessed with an eyeshadow palette before. I was not this obsessed with the Sweet Peach palette. I was not this obsessed with like any matte eyeshadow palette. Let's say like the Tartelets by Tarte. Like, this is a great palette, very blendable. I mean, the colors are just insane in pigmentation. And I mean, I'm just like lightly dipping my fingers in, but they're really pretty. They're a little bit soft and powdery, which I feel makes them very blendable, but they hold their own really well. There's no fallout in application, at least for me. I am so impressed, and I know this probably sounds sponsored now. It's definitely not. It's just that this is one of the best things I have used in a long time in terms of new makeup. Okay, so I did not talk about this blush, the Peach My Cheeks Melting Powder Blush. I can't tell what texture these are because they feel very creamy, but then it's like you take off that top layer and they look sort of powdery underneath. I really don't know. It says it's a powder blush, so I'm assuming it is a powder blush. It really is a pretty color. I just thought it would be a little bit bright for what I did today. That is the color So Peachy, but there are multiple colors of this. I love the packaging on that. I already swatched this, but the Bronze Peach bronzer looks very nice. Very intrigued about this. And it's an interesting texture in terms of a bronzer. It's just that I feel like, you know, for me, I like a very powdery bronzer. I like to go in and be able to blend on my cheeks and bring it up, because I don't necessarily do very harsh contour unless it's under the jaw or right on the outer parts of the cheekbones there. So I don't know how this would work for that, just with the texture being the way that it is. But I do quite like it. And then of course there's the highlight, the Peach Frost highlight. I wasn't too sure about it at first, and you can kind of see here. So like comparatively, I had dipped my brush in that. I had, you know, used my fingers. Look at how powdery that one looks, whereas this one looks like it's a cream. It's crazy. I can't quite figure out those, but I do like this highlight. It's not crazy, and sometimes I'm in the mood for a crazy highlight, but this is a really good one. You can apply it with the fingers or with a brush, and I think it looks really pretty either way. Of course, then there's a lipstick. Now, the only product I didn't show you guys was I had a lipstick from the lineup in the shade Drunk Dial, and I'll go ahead and swatch this. It's just a really gorgeous kind of berry tone, and this is available in 20 shades, so you have a lot of different options to pick from. The mattes are very comfortable so far. I quite like the colors that I have, of course. You know I'm a nude girl. This is Sunday Fun Day, the first color I put on. It's kind of like a perfect sort of bronzy, beachy nude color. Then Dollface is just a bit paler and kind of pinky. Again, I haven't tried to drink with these, haven't tried to eat with them, but upon initial application, they are very comfortable for a matte lipstick. Also very, very creamy. I'm pretty impressed with this entire collection, but these lipsticks are really good. You guys, that's gonna be it for my review. I really hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know that a lot of you were very curious about this when I posted it online, so I hope this kind of answered some questions that you had and hopefully helped you make a decision as to whether or not anything from this lineup was good for you and your personal use. I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing day, and I think that's it.